Welcome to HRTV's Victory Lap with coverage of the Alltech FEI World Equestrian Games. I'm Jill Byrne.
And I'm Gil Merrick at the Prevent Feeders International Equestrian Festival presented by HRTV.
And Gil, once again, we were out at the horse park today. We've got 2 more days left, essentially, out there. A gorgeous day. Record temperatures here, it seems like. Not a cloud in the sky. And just what a great day to be out there.
Yeah, and it sure brought out the crowds today. The horse park, again, just loaded with families and people who live in Lexington and have never been around the horse sport, and of course all the people who've come in from all over the country and all over the world to enjoy these events. Yeah,
amazing crowd out there today. Probably the weather has something to do with it, but also I think everybody excited to see the driving competition, and today was the driving around the obstacles, which this is just mind-boggling to me. I think I said it before. To me, it's Ben-Hur meets the Wild Wild West. Yep. You see them heading into these obstacles. We got to stand and watch. They're heading into water with a carriage with 4 horses.
That's right, and the balance, you have 3 people on each of the carriages, and the person who has the reins and is driving the team is being supported by the other 2 people on the carriage, and it's a balancing act to make sure that that carriage wheel doesn't hook on the edge of any of the obstacles, and the time that they have to get through is just amazing, and the strategy that they pick as far as how they're going to negotiate each of the obstacles for the maximum.
And the obstacles, it looked so narrow, so tight through there, and they're going fast, and they're turning sharp, and these horses just on cue. It was an absolute amazing thing for us to see. I know a lot of the fans out there were just completely kind of in awe of what they were seeing.
Yeah, I think when you see this filmed, it's hard to get a sense until you stand right up by the obstacle and you realize what they're negotiating and the speed that they're going through those obstacles. I know everybody out there that I talked to sure enjoyed it.
I thought it was an absolute blast to be out there watching this. I mean, I know probably if I'm on the back of that carriage, I'm a little, or even driving it, I'm probably thinking, oh God, duck, when you're heading into it. They're going up and down hills, through water, around the most ridiculous looking obstacles, but it was just something to see. And I know, this was an event that just attracted a lot of people, kind of like when we were out there doing watching the cross country. Right. It was all on the same course.
That's right, and beautifully maintained, and I talked to some of the competitors and some of the people around the venue, said it is absolutely world class. They've never been at a better venue, so good job to everybody who made this come together.
Well, it was. I am so glad that we got out there to see the driving today. That was part of what was going on out at the Kentucky Horse Park, but of course right here at the International Equestrian Festival, lots still taking place, and Doug High is out on the floor.
Well, thank you guys out here on the floor of the International Equestrian Festival. Ran into our old friend Seth. Good to see you, sir.
Hey, thanks, Doug. How you doing,
Like
man?
the T-shirt.
Thank you very much.
Look at this, and it is.
State.
Yeah, you better believe it. Seth's one of the publishers of the Bourbon Review, an incredible publication out here. But not only the magazine, Seth, looks like you guys have brought some other products here to IEF.
Yeah. I think our coolest product we have are whiskey barrels.
That's pretty cool.
They are recoopered, they're recharred, they're made out of Virginia, they're 100% oak.
Very nice.
And you can age your own spirit in them. So this is just an example, but this is Buffalo Trace White Dog.
Okay.
This is going in a barrel, and this is going out one of our barrels after just 7 weeks. So you can be your own master distiller, so to speak.
That is very cool. Okay,
so, and pretty neat idea.
We've noticed some custom barrel work up here too. What's this all about?
Yeah, you can for just within a couple weeks, you can have a barrel custom made, a sports team. Your name, Doug's Reserve, something like that. Doug's Finest. So,
all right.
We just sold a Yankees barrel, so that was interesting.
Very cool.
From Chrissy out there.
That's right. Yankees fan.
It's been a great week. We've had a nice assortment of Wisconsin, California come by, and of course they're curious about bourbon, and a lot of them took it to the next level and got a pretty good souvenir out of it.
There you go.
It's been nice.
Well, we invite you to stop by and visit Seth and the gang here. Everything bourbon can be had here. IEF, not just for horses, not just for the equestrian lifestyle, but of course we're Kentuckians, so you got to have bourbon in the mix.
That's right. If you like it, you can go to gobourbon.com, for a good little Christmas gift there.
All right, Seth, appreciate it, friend.
Doug, thank you, man.
Good to see you.
You too.
HRTV's Victory Lap will return right after this. HRTV's Victory Lap is brought to you by Prevent Feeders.
Welcome back to HRTV's Victory Lap. And Gil, one of the kind of surprise disciplines, the vaulting. A lot of people didn't really know that much about it, but you wouldn't have known that out at the horse park today. Crowds coming out to see this gymnastics on horseback.
It was really exciting to see. I mean, people are somewhat familiar with the mounted sports, but this gymnastics on horseback, they compete as individuals. They also compete as teams. And I know that a young lady, Megan Benjamin, came off of the 2006 World Games with an individual gold medal in a sport that's normally dominated by Europeans, and we were able to catch up with her after her round today.
Tell us a little bit about your ride and how you felt and did.
Oh, that was the best one I've had so far. My horse was just so there for me. Did you see his scores? He got 8s. I think he's the first of the competition to do that. And it just was so nice to have one last performance that really felt like I was myself again.
And tell us a little bit about your horse and how long you've been working with him.
This is actually the first year I've been working with him. He has a lot of experience. He's been, he was the Danish team's horse at the 2008 World Championships. And this year I started working with him because my horse had a little bit of an injury. So we've been working with each other this year only.
Oh, it was great to catch up with her and to be able to be out there and see that. I'm just amazed at those horses. They're so smooth and they just stay on that nice little soft canter. It's quite something.
Yeah, and there's a panel of judges, and some of the judges' only job is to score the horse and its steadiness and its way of going and its ability to keep the vaulters steady up on the back.
Well, right next door to us, our HRTV booth, which has been very popular here at the International Equestrian Festival. A lot of people stopping by to check out what HRTV is all about. But today, it's time for Gil to get a riding lesson of his own.
Yeah, this one's going to take me a little bit out of my comfort zone. I know you're at home there, but it's a little bit new for me.
Let's take a look.
And I'm here with Stephanie Kuntz, a student in Lexington at a very special school. Stephanie, can you tell us about where you go to school and what inspired you to go there?
Yes, I am a student here in Lexington at the North American Racing Academy. It is the first and only school in the United States that trains people directly for the thoroughbred industry, founded by retired Hall of Fame jockey Chris McCarron. We have a pathway for trainers and jockeys, so it's the only school of its kind that lets people kind of go right into the industry.
Yeah, and how did you find your way to the school?
I actually found out about the school from an inside information video that HRTV actually did. I found it on YouTube actually, and from the video it just shows what the school was and how it was set up, and hearing that it was, you know, founded by Chris McCarron and you have him as your coach every day, I right then decided I was going to do whatever I needed to do to get there.
And what's a typical day at school like?
Well, we start in the barn in the mornings between 6 and 7 o'clock. We usually get there around 6 and get all the work done, muck the stalls, get the horses tacked up. We get on at 7:30 and we ride for about 45 minutes. Come back to the barn, do all the chores then. Usually ends around 10 o'clock, and then we come back after a lunch break, and we usually end the day around 3 o'clock.
And how far along are you now in the program?
I have only been here since August, so it's been an incredible learning experience. I have a riding background, but being able to get on the thoroughbreds, it's all totally new, and there's so much to learn, and just having Chris as a coach is the most amazing thing I could have ever asked for.
Well, I'm also a rider, but I have no familiarity with what's required of a jockey. Can you give me a little bit of a lesson and explain who we have here with us? Bob the Equicizer?
Bob the Equicizer is here from Frankie Lovato, who created this as a training and strengthening tool for jockeys. He created Bob while he was injured because there was nothing else at the time that would allow him to work out the way he needed to and even know if he could get back on a horse. So from there, word spread, and now every jockey school is overseas here, as well as therapeutic riding centers. They're now being used for other types of riding as well, and the Equicizer is really just catching on as an amazing exercise tool.
Okay. All right, enough of this.
Okay.
I want to see this guy on a racehorse. So now, Stephanie, it is your turn to give Gil a riding lesson.
All right.
And be kind. I'm used to riding with a very long stirrup, and I think it's going to have to start with me getting on.
Yes. First of all, in racing, since the stirrups are so short and you're so high up there, you always get a leg up. So all you're going to do is just hold this knee up.
Yep.
And you're going to take up the slack in your reins.
Okay.
And we don't want Bob to run away.
Yeah, that's right. We want Bob right where he is.
On the count of 3, I'm just going to give you a quick leg up, and you want to sit down as light as you can.
Okay.
So 1, 2, 3. Fantastic.
How's that? Bob's still here, so that had to have gone
fantastic.
Now here comes the fun
well.
part.
Now, I'd
the
normally be
stirrups.
right about here, so where do you think I ought to be?
You're good there, but you're
Oh no, keep them extra short.
That's right, you're going to have fun with this one.
all right. That should be about good.
Okay.
And let me just get the other one for you too.
Now, for those of you who are watching this, Gil's background is in dressage, where his feet are right now is about where he would
That'd
normally be
about,
comfortable.
so do you want my knees in the stirrups, or how are we going to do this?
I want your feet in the stirrups.
All right, let's see if the joints move like that. There's one. There's the other. And what do I do with the rest of my body?
All right. From here, let me have your reins for 1 second
Okay.
before you pick them up.
Yep.
Lean your upper body totally forward and put your arms out to the side.
Okay.
Just sit down and just let your whole upper body weight fall down on your legs.
Okay.
Instead, keep your knees open so that they're not touching.
No, there we go.
There
Now
you
it's
go.
harder.
Now from here, you're going to pick up your cross.
Okay.
I want you to show first how you would normally hold the reins for dressage.
Do you want to know where the whole body would be from? Well, we'd be right about back here, so I don't think this is going to be anywhere close.
No.
Okay.
You're going to have to come up the neck quite a bit, and you're going to throw across just
Okay.
like this. Put your hands right in the middle so the reins are bridged,
Both together.
and keep them on the neck. That's exactly right.
And I still can't touch them with my knees, is that
No,
right?
don't touch with your knees, and bring
Okay.
your upper body down more.
Yep.
Now take your seat out of the saddle the slightest bit that you can.
Okay.
Now holding that position, keep your elbows in, just drive up and out. There you go,
Okay.
perfect. And from there, the more you get comfortable and can hold your position, you're going to start doing it to eventually to it's as hard as you can.
Oh, I gotcha. Is he
And
going to buck?
He's not going to
Is he
buck.
going to come off the ground?
He's not going to come off the
Okay.
ground, but your challenge is to keep your body totally still.
Oh, that
and
is
just
the
be able
challenge.
to start driving up and out and just punch. There you
And
go.
not punch myself
That's
in the
perfect.
nose. Okay.
And just do
And
up
the
and
elbows
out
in.
and bring your body back every time you drive. There you go. Perfect.
Okay,
think he
this
has
is a
some
pretty good
talent.
little
I like
workout.
it. Gil, you might be able to handle this world along with your dressage.
Well, I'm 5'7". How am I doing in the height category?
You could be an exercise rider.
Well, this is great. Thanks for the lesson.
You're welcome.
Bob and I will see you a little bit later. We're going to go for a ride.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, how much fun was that?
That was a lot of fun. I'm wondering if maybe I missed my calling somewhere along the line.
I don't think Mike Smith's too worried about losing the Mount on Zenyatta in the Breeders' Cup just yet.
Probably not right now.
We'll be right back with more on HRTV's Victory Lap.
Nothing says I love you like effective flea control. Show your dog you really care with Advantage.
Welcome back to HRTV's Victory Lap.
Well, we've seen a lot of interesting things here at the International Equestrian Festival. There's been a lot of horse demonstrations on the floor. A lot of people, talking about how you can better get along with your horse a little bit. And well, we just saw Gil get a riding lesson, and now Colleen Kelly is going to tell everybody how you can better sort of understand your horse.
Well, I started in exercise physiology a very long time ago, and I was at the University of New South Wales in Sydney, Australia, and I was a scientific writer there, and I was fascinated in the way the human body moves, and obviously as a horse rider myself and dressage judge, play polo cross for many, many years, I was fascinated in putting the two together in the science of riding, how we sit and how that affects the horse. It's all about the seat and posture of the rider. So the way we sit is the way the horse will go. So if we sit, sometimes I look at it this way, if you had to sit on someone's lap, you can either sit very heavily or you can sit really lightly, and it can become very, very intricate. Even the tiniest bone and the tiniest tendons in the human body can make quite a massive difference on the horse's way of going.
Let's look up, stick your nose in the air, just wait a sec. And raise your chin a little bit, and I don't know, Teddy Bear's going to win the...
When you look down at the horse, oftentimes the horse goes in a very different way than when you look up. And my own specialty in the beginning, I studied race horses, and I was very interested in the way the jockey sits and how we can make the racehorse go faster and obviously straighter, and hopefully affect the winning place. a couple of years ago I had a very bad accident. I broke my spine, and the riding for the disabled in Melbourne at Peppercorn Park with the wonderful people that got me back on a horse, led me round literally on like Fluffy the pony. They were just so kind. So ever since then I have a chosen charity, which is riding for the disabled and any kind of therapeutic program, and obviously para equestrian. So no matter where I am in the world, wherever I'm giving lessons, I never charge for lessons for any of the para equestrians.
I'm from Johannesburg, South Africa. I'm 25 years old. I've been riding for 15 years now in total, of which I've been competing disabled since 2003. This is my second World Equestrian Games, and I competed in the Hong Kong Paralympics in 2008. We've seen a lot. The horses, the standard of the horses are just like huge. Every time I come overseas for a competition, the standard's getting better and better. And being with all the other people with all their different disabilities and seeing how they all cope is just amazing. And yeah, I love being here.
Well, those particular ones that you just saw were the South African para equestrian team. And those athletes were here and having a chat to me about their seat and posture. And yeah, it was wonderful to welcome them.
But if that thumb is clamped on, right like that, I can't pull that rein out of your hand. However, if your hand is here...
I've worked with 8 world champions in different sports, mostly equestrian, mostly Olympic sports. And we've worked with, I think it's, gosh, I'm losing count now, but 3 Olympic medals, 2 para-equestrian medals, para-equestrian golds, and 3 or 4 silver and bronze. I'm starting to lose count now, so yeah, a lot of stars in the past. And hopefully the future.
And Gil, I guess one of the newest disciplines to the World Equestrian Games, and really new to the equestrian world overall, was including para-dressage or the para-equestrians this year.
That's right, and they're very excited to have it included in the World Championships. It's a new and growing sport for them. And we have Victory Lap special correspondent Alyssa Dos Santos, who's going to take a closer look.
You never lose that feeling. I'm on a horse. This is where I love to be.
Thousands of miles away from her farm in Australia, the feeling is the same. It's there as she weaves through other athletes at the Kentucky Horse Park.
Being on a horse is my life.
Perched atop her horse, it's easy to see. 30-year-old Nicole Cullen is a natural. Boots lodged in the stirrups, hands gripping the reins for horse ballet. Moms on the sidelines capturing every move.
I'm just really proud and, you know, in watching her.
But when practice ends, life slows down. It's a routine that sets her apart from her competitors.
This is what I wear when I'm riding.
Prosthetic limbs come off. Nicole contracted meningococcal meningitis septicemia when she was 16. They amputated her legs below the knees.
So these are my riding legs that I use when I ride. Instead of wearing a boot, I actually wear a black sock with the leather gaiters.
The disease also took away all sensation in her hands and wrists.
Instead of wearing gloves, we use these Band-Aids and the dressings, and Mum puts those on for me. My arms only turn certain ways. Even though they don't work, I can still use them. I can actually still work out ways around doing things. They're not just not there.
So 4 times a day, Nicole undergoes dialysis.
So this does the job of my kidneys.
It's an hour each time.
He sort of told me I should get my priorities right and not be so focused on the games because I wouldn't be alive for it.
She is weak, but at the same time she really gives it all her best efforts to achieve what she really enjoys, which is a horse riding.
Take each day and enjoy what we have, and that's how we live life, really.
For HRTV's Victory Lap, I'm Alyssa Dos Santos.
Boy, it's always moving to see someone who's just out there to beat the odds and really make it happen for themselves.
Oh, that was just a great story. And, you know, I think it was Winston Churchill that said something along the lines of that there's something about the outside of a horse that's good for the inside of a man, in this case a woman. Horses do have amazing healing powers, and of course we just saw a little bit of that right here on HRTV's Victory Lap, and we'll be right back after this.
For flea control that works, give your beloved feline Advantage, the flea treatment that's the cat's meow.
Welcome back to HRTV's Victory Lap. And Gil, we're almost finished here. I can't believe that these games and all the activity here at the International Equestrian Festival, really, it's been 15 days, but it feels like it just started.
Yeah, there's so much going on, and there's something new every day at this whole event. And I think right now we're going to check in on the floor at the International Equestrian Festival and see what Doug High is up to.
Well, thank you guys. Back out here on the show floor at the International Equestrian Festival, we stopped by the very cool, very rustic looking bear booth, Bear Animal Health. And Suzanne's with us. Suzanne, good to see you.
Nice to see you.
So we've got a pretty cool little computer program here that we want to tell folks about, and they can either do it by stopping by your booth here today, last day of the show.
That's correct.
Or they can go online, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
Actually, what it is, it's called What Legend is Your Horse? Ooh. And the idea behind it is you get to take this really fun quiz. You can log on to our website, which is mylegendaryhorse.com, and they'll go through a series of questions. They'll ask you different things about your horse's personality, and then it will match it up with some legendary person.
Some key figure from history, it looks
right.
like here.
Like
we got
Joan of Arc,
Ben Franklin, George Washington, Amelia Earhart.
Yes,
okay.
And I tell you, I did this for my own horse, and it's a hoot. It's really fun. My particular horse was Joan of Arc, and I have to say it was pretty accurate. So it really is fun. And there's kind of a fun thing you can do when you're done, and that is once the character has been selected, it can go directly to your Facebook. So you can post your character on the Facebook for your horse.
Wow. Well, that is a fun thing to do. So if you own a horse and he or she is a character, you might want to check out this program.
Right.
Okay.
That's
Now,
right.
how can they find this?
You just go right on to www.mylegendaryhorse.com.
Okay.
Now there's another component to it, which is really a little more serious, but really a great thing to do. And you can actually nominate your equine vet to be put into a drawing that's going to be held at the AAEP, the American Association of Equine Practitioners, big convention in December. We'll be drawing the names, and the veterinarian that wins Bear Animal Health will be donating $5,000 to the charity of that veterinarian's choice. So please go on and nominate your veterinarian.
Okay, a little bit of fun and a little bit of good cause too on the website from Bear Animal Health, helping keep your pets healthy. Suzanne, thanks for having us over. I love
My
the
pleasure.
booth. Yeah, I
Isn't
feel
it
like
great?
I'm back in the 1860s here.
I love it.
It's good stuff. We're going to send things back to Gil and Jill.
So much has been going on here. I can't believe that it's almost coming to a close, and that is closing day is tomorrow. So here is a look at the last day activities out at the Alltech FEI World Equestrian Games.
As well as the Prevent Feeders International Equestrian Festival presented by HRTV.
Hard to believe that it's almost over, just one more day. So you still have one more day to get out to the Kentucky Horse Park if you're anywhere in town. But of course, you can always watch everything right here on HRTV's Victory Lap. I'm Jill Byrne.
And I'm Gil Merrick. Thanks for watching. Please join us tomorrow.